Welcome to the show, everyone. You know what? It's Medicare season pretty soon, and everybody thinks that Medicare season is, just in October, but it's really not. It's actually every day. And I'm really excited about bringing on my first guest. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show later on. My first guest is Michael BRADEN, and he is the owner of BRADEN Medicare. Welcome to the show. You've never been on the show before, so welcome to the show. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do, but also why you're so passionate about it.
Hi, Carol. It's a pleasure to be here. I love this business because I love interacting with people, and I have a servant's heart. My father is laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery after his tour with the Air Force. My mother later started her own business to take care of my brother and I. And you just watch. You pick up things and cues from your parents. Working hard and caring about people are just what we did. So we've always said we always treat clients like friends and friends like family. And that's just the way we were raised, and I've continued that on.
You are a Medicare broker, and I want you to explain why it is so important. You said before you came on that everybody should work with a Medicare broker.
Medicare brokers are agents, but they have more than just one company. If somebody is just a Medicare agent, let's say they work for Humana, they can only show and market Humana products, which can be great products, but there's no choice. So a lot of times people can overpay because they don't have multiple options. And brokers typically will have 3 to 5 companies. Some will have a little bit more. We have over 40 carriers that we're contracted with. And so we just think it gives people more choice and more options, which in the long run, we believe less money is paid out for their premiums, so it's more money being kept in their pockets.
Well, I also think it just makes sense, because when you are dealing with somebody who's not a broker and they, let's say, just have that one product that they can share with them or sell them, they're going to push you on that really hard, where you're not really pushing. You said that to me before you came on as well. I don't push in any way.
No, we really are here to help people navigate and make sense out of what their options are. And if we do anything at all that's correct, we just clearly explain everything. And we want people to have a good understanding of what they're doing, and pressure doesn't belong in that environment, in my opinion.
Now, before you came on, we talked a little bit about some of the things about you. You're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You are statewide. This is a free service to you. And the website is BRADEN, and it's BRADEN, Medicare.com. The phone number to call, it's 480-225-1393. And right now I'd like to sort of talk about people who are just turning 65, because it's Medicare Day for you soon too.
That it is.
Okay, so I want to ask you these questions. They're pretty cool. One of them is it mandatory for everyone to enroll in Medicare when they turn 65?
No, it's not mandatory unless you are working for an employer and have insurance, and that employer has under 20 employees. If that's the case, Medicare is considered creditable, and your group health insurance is considered a small employer, so it is no longer an option for you at age 65.
Okay, so what is the first thing people learn about Medicare?
That it's not all free.
I was going to say it's not free.
Unfortunately, I think people think that it is. The other thing is they think, well, it can't be good coverage because they're giving it to everybody. And no, that's not the case. It is the national health insurance for individuals 65 and older across the U.S. So it's great insurance, but not all of it is free.
So is there an initial enrollment period for Medicare for that?
There's the initial enrollment period for anyone is a 7-month window, the 3 months before they turn 65, their birth month, and the 3 months after they turn 65. And during that time, they can enroll, pick a plan. That is their initial enrollment period. If they continue to work past 65, then they will still have that period when they decide to retire.
So when is the best time for them to call you on this as they're turning 65?
It's any time that they are in the mood to think about Medicare. And everybody's different, but when they think, you know, I thought about it long enough, I need to talk to somebody, then that's the time to call.
Yeah, I'll tell you something, first of all, I believe that anybody who's turning 65, the minute that that's their year to turn 65, they're thinking about it big time. You know, cause they know everybody's excited about getting on Medicare, you know, right? They just seem to be.
Mhm.
So the best thing to do is to call when you're ready, but also to speak with somebody like Michael, who is a Medicare broker. And that's important for you guys out there, if you can.
Absolutely, there's protection, there's somebody that you will have your own Medicare phone-a-friend for the rest of your life, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
Now, the phone number to call again, it's 480-225-1393, and it's a free service to you. He does work statewide. He's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You can check him out on his website, which is BRADEN, BRADEN, Medicare.com. So how many options do people have when they're enrolling in Medicare?
There's typically three options. One is Original Medicare, and that's an 80-20 Medicare plan, health plan. So the government covers 80%, you're left with 20%. Most people realize that 20% can add up. So the next option is Original Medicare, and then there are 11 different Medicare supplements that can pick up all or a portion of that 20%. So if people like the idea of having their own coverage, their own doctors, and it travels with them anywhere in the country, they typically go that route. The third option is Medicare Advantage, and those are more like what everyone has had with their health insurance working. You have a company, that's your insurance company, nothing you can do about it once you pick one, and you go by their networks, their hospitals, where they tell you can go to get service. The biggest downside to that is it's not the same coverage as Medicare, because Medicare is a national health insurance, and these are private companies, but it's typically only good in the county people live in. Now here, if you're out in maybe Maricopa County and Pinal County, you'd be good in both. But if you were in Yavapai County, for example, and you want to end up going down south to Pima County, no, you can be treated for emergency services, but everything else stops when you leave the county borders.
So it's good to talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about and knows what they're doing and can educate you and guide you. I think that's what you like to do, is guide people. You know, when you're turning 65, there are so many questions, and then there's also a lot of alphabets in the soup, you know, sort of say, and so there's a lot of different things that you want to learn and be able to talk to somebody. It's a free service to you. It just makes sense. His phone number is 480-225-1393, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. He works statewide. It is a free service. Again, you can check him out on his website, which is BRADEN, BRADEN, Medicare.com. You know, we're going to go to a break and come back and talk further, because now we're getting into the Medicare October season. That's right around the corner. It's your busiest time of the year.
That it is.
And so we want people to understand that it's all about getting educated. We want you to understand you're going to call when you're ready, no matter what, but do speak to somebody who's a broker. That's what you said so many times. Also, that when you speak to somebody who is educating you on what you're doing and who knows what they're talking about, again, that phone number to call them is 480-225-1393. Hang tight, we'll be back in just a minute. Do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, just because it was right in your face.
Okay.
It seemed like it. Okay, and you're comfortable
Yeah.
where you are there.
No
Okay.
problem.
When you're working with people who are new to Medicare, you know, there's one thing that you had here. What is the biggest transition that they make?
The biggest one is that if they choose Original Medicare, they don't have the same relationship that they've always had with their insurance company, because the government takes care of 80% of everything. And if Medicare approves a service, then it's approved. They send the billing to your supplement, and they have no choice. Medicare said pay it, they pay it. So they don't have that really one-on-one relationship with their insurance company because of Medicare. And it's a hard thing for a lot of them to get used to. I said, well, Blue Cross Blue Shield's the best. I said, they were the gold standard when I grew up, but price matters. And you don't have to overpay to get the same coverage depending on what you want to get out of your plan.
And I'm thinking everybody is different, you know, because, and especially even in your own household, you are different than your spouse. You're not gonna have the same medications for sure.
Correct.
As your spouse, and so you wanna make sure that you don't, I think, call people on the television is terrible to do, because a lot of those are even somewhat deceiving.
They're the most high-pressure situation that people ever thought they would find themselves in, because these companies pay to have their agents pressuring people.
Sure.
They don't want that phone line to go dead, or they've lost advertising dollars. And so it really is tough when people just want help, but then they feel they're stuck and they're pressured into doing something that they may regret later, but they don't know how to turn back.
Right. It's pretty sad. I think that it's crazy, but it is what it is,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
I hope I'm doing a good job for
No,
you.
you are.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm following
You're doing good.
along.
You're doing really good. Okay, we're coming back. This is my longest running guest. He's a hypnotherapist,
Oh, okay.
16 years. They all are. The plumber's been on for 8 years, so. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking Medicare here, and you know, if you're turning 65, you need to make sure that you call somebody who can help you through it and guide you through something brand new to you. Also, we now have Medicare season, which is right around the corner, which we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're talking with Michael BRADEN, who is the owner of BRADEN Medicare Insurance, and you know, let me say this. What I think is we talked at the break about people who call from on the television. A lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you say?
It's the most, they train those people to put all the pressure on the caller because it's their advertising dollars. And they know that they've got one chance with a live telephone connection, and they are taught you do not let that call drop. So they pressure people, they use every trick in the book, and it may not be what's best for the person, but they don't care.
Right.
They're just there to make the sale.
Right, and they also don't know you, like you know the plans for the person's area, and you get to know when you've got a client. I'm sure that it's not just a one-time deal.
Absolutely, we have many clients we've helped several times over and over.
Absolutely. Now, Medicare annual enrollment period, which is AEP, starts right around the corner. Why is that so important each year?
It's the important time of the year for anyone with Medicare because, one, you pick a new Part D prescription drug plan each year that starts on January 1st, but you pick that in the fall. So if your medications have not changed, you're happy with your plan, great, it can roll over. But that plan may or may not be around for the next year. So you've got to pay attention to the mailings from Medicare about your annual notice of change letters, and then see what plan is best for you, especially if medications have changed. Don't keep with the same one thinking, oh, it'll be okay, because not every plan is right for everyone's medication.
Now, and once the annual enrollment period is over, and let's say they didn't realize that it was something they probably should have changed or what have you, do they have any other chances?
If they have a Medicare Advantage plan, they can still change plans the first quarter of the year, January, February, and March. That's the Medicare Advantage open enrollment period. But on the Medicare Part D plans, they're stuck with that plan for the year, but we can give them a couple of places they can go to help keep their bills lower if they miss something.
Why did they make it so hard is what I wanna know.
You know, the best answer I can give you is it's a governmental program, and the only people that cared if it made sense to them were people in the government, and that's why it's as crazy as it is.
What is the hardest thing that people go through the Medicare process?
It's just the overwhelming vernacular that's used with Medicare because it's so different. When we had home ec, we learned how to write a check, but nobody tells us at 63 you gotta go ahead and take your Medicare class. So it's a crash course for everyone, and it's different terminology, it's different plans, and it's completely different than what we've been used to for the past 40 years.
And also, I mentioned this earlier to you during the break, is that the people, you don't have the same plan as even your spouse,
No.
possibly, because you're a different person. You have different medications, and medications change all the time.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, the information for him is 480-225-1393. Again, it's a free service to you, so it just makes sense to call somebody local, somebody here, and also a broker, a Medicare broker. He works statewide, and he's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. You can check him out. It's BRADEN, BRADEN, Medicare.com. So why is it a good idea for people to get separate email address as they research and learn more about Medicare and their options? You're telling me they gotta get a new email address?
I'm saying they're gonna love it if they do.
Tell me why.
Because their mailbox gets inundated, and they have to trash more pamphlets, flyers, brochures, letters from people they've never met. And the same thing happens to the email address. So I always tell people, you may think I'm crazy, but if you're gonna give your email address to anyone about Medicare, and you don't know who they are yet, you know, it's a feeling out process, make one up, and just use that. Go to Yahoo, go to Google, go to MSN, whoever you want to, get a free email address, just use it during Medicare, don't have everything else hit your regular email, and you will be so much happier 5 months afterwards because you have your life back.
You know, I've never heard that before, but I think it's a good idea. What is better for people, Medicare Advantage plans or Medicare Supplements plans?
Yes, and I say that because everyone's different. Everyone needs and has a certain idea of what they want out of their health care.
Mm-hmm.
They're two totally separate models, they both work. Some people think, hey, this is free, I don't pay a premium. With a lot of Medicare Advantage plans, they're still paying for Medicare, but the rest of it, you pay as you go. And with a Medicare supplement, with original Medicare, you're paying an additional premium, but really then, you have a $257 deductible for the rest of the year and you're not paying anything. So it's pay me now, pay me later, and everyone has their different idea on what one of those is best for them.
Right, it's not, you can't tell somebody what's right for them until you start talking to them.
Absolutely, you can't put a square peg in a round hole.
So does every Medicare beneficiary have to pick a new plan every year?
No, the people with Medicare Advantage, if that plan is still available the next year, they can roll it over. But if it's not, yes, they have to pick a new plan for the next year.
So here's another one. Why is it important for people to pick the Medicare plan they want when they are in their 70s and 80s when they first enroll in Medicare?
My favorite thing to talk about for people is, it's impossible to imagine what's going to happen 10, 12, 15, 20 years from now. But you have to look at it as insurance. The whole idea of it is to mitigate your risk and to find a partner who will absorb that risk for you so you can keep more money in your pocket. And you may think, hey, I'll just do the cheapest thing I can do for 3 or 4 years. I'm healthy, nothing's happened. And then something out of the blue hits you, you may not qualify for the plan you want 2 or 3 years later.
Well, I know somebody who did something similar to that, and she ended up where she was healthy when she first went on Medicare, and she did not get the drug plan because she said, I don't need it, I'm fine, I don't even take anything at that time. Now she's on a lot, and let me tell you something, as you will probably know what I'm going to say, is that she has to pay out of pocket now for all of her medications, and believe me, some of them are very pricey, because she went so long without I mean, I think she'd be charged, quite a bit of money for that, but,
There are
so
penalties.
she just pays right out of pocket, and not everybody can do that.
No, it's scary. I've seen people that thought, I'm healthy, everything's great. They had a cancer diagnosis out of the blue within 2 years. I had one gal, lovely couple, and within a month of her policy going into effect, they called me up because, we've got to go to Ironwood. And it was just, thank God, we had the right coverage for them, but they didn't have to worry about a thing. But it's just one of those things that you can't undo once you start all the time.
Well, I think it's so important to talk to somebody who is educated, and that's what you're all about, is educating your clients so they understand what they're doing, and talking to a broker who's somebody who doesn't just work with one product that they're just pushing and making you feel obligated. That's not what you're gonna get with Michael. He's all about just talking to you about it and telling you what his thoughts are for you.
I will always give anybody who asks me an answer to a question, but I will never choose a plan for somebody. That's not our role. Our role is to educate, teach, and explain, but the total decision, the final decision on any plan has to be the individual, because they're the ones that have to live with that plan.
I like this one, I'm jumping to it because we only have a couple of minutes now. How do they apply the 6 Ps? Now, I know on television they got one for the other Ps, and I know what they are. That this is, go ahead and tell them what they are.
It's just proper prior planning prevents poor performance. And that's just, you've got to do a little bit of homework, whether you think you do or not, because the more you're educated about Medicare, even just the basics, the better you're going to be able to follow the bouncing ball and understanding your options. And you've got to put a little bit of time into it, but you'll be so glad you did.
Absolutely, and when you talk with Michael, you are going to be able to get somebody who's going to educate you, talk to you about this, and that you make your decision, but you're getting an informed decision.
Correct.
Again, that phone number to call him direct, it's 480-225-1393. He's A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. This is a free service to you. He works statewide, and you can check him out on his website. It's BRADEN, BRADEN, Medicare.com. Do you go to them, or they come to you, or how does that work?
Whatever's convenient for the client.
Again, you call them at 480-225-1393. It's BRADEN, BRADEN, Medicare.com.